everyone. I'm Rahul Khera. I'm founder of Balancing Bits. Balancing Bits is a growing social enterprise, and we are primarily working in waste management. We are primarily dealing in organic fraction of the waste, and our primary area of operations is Gurgaon NCR. So what we basically do is that we help bulk waste generators like residential societies, commercial complexes, malls, hospitals, etc., to process their waste within their premises. For that, we use composting and biogas technology, and we started operations in 2018. And since then, we are right now working with more than 45 bulk waste generators here in Gurgaon NCR region and helping them to process their waste. So on a cumulative scale, we process approximately 10 to 15 tons of waste on daily basis. So this is how we are helping the city to manage its waste in a decentralized manner and helping to cut down the greenhouse gas emissions.
Hi, I'm Seher. I'm the founder of Bare Necessities, and we create sustainable products that are designed not to land up in our oceans and landfills. We also are powered by a completely women-run production team, and we've been kind of championing circularity for a long time, and we're really excited to be here as well.
So I'll go next. Hi everybody, I'm Sonal. Good evening. Very happy to be here. I'm in plastic waste management domain. We are based out of Delhi NCR, and we primarily collect the waste plastic and then process it and make different kinds of products out of that. We are basically making products in two different categories. One is gifting, and then one is public utility like park benches, dustbins, and any kinds of customizations works that are customized products. We are also doing that as well. So yeah, looking forward to our conversation.
I think it's my turn now, right? So my name is Aditya, and I'm the founder of Ayya Waste Management. We are a waste management company. We work in decentralized ways, right? Right now we are partnered with two municipalities and some bulk waste generator, and we process their waste in their premises only.
Thank you for your introductions, everyone. And this is a session on role of youth in the circular economy. And all of us are seeing here today these five prominent panelists and speakers who have done tremendous works in their particular domains, especially in the domains of waste management and circular economy, which is the gist of today's session. So continuing, since we have already we have started a bit late, so my first question will be from with Sahar Mansoor. So Sahar, I have seen your brand flourish over time, and congratulations to you for making it and inspiring many more for doing what you do. I was curious to know about your journey so far. How did you come to this vision of beginning bare necessities? Like, was it something you planned from the very beginning, or it got shaped over time? And after working for so far in this field, to what extent the role of sustainable product creation is clearly understood in the context of advanced circular economy? Over to you, sir.
Great. Thank you so much for that question. So honestly, growing up, I spent a lot of time in nature. I spent a lot of time with my dad and my two sisters in nature. So I think it had a huge element to play, but I never kind of understood this. But I actively started to call myself an environmentalist when I was 18, when I went to college. And I took a lot of environmental science courses. So then I kind of was on this path. I wanted to be a professor in the environmental space. I kind of went to the University of Cambridge after for my master's. I wanted to kind of do the PhD track, etc. And to be honest, I didn't get the scholarship that I wanted for my PhD, and I had to kind of switch roles a little bit. I spent some time at the World Health Organization in Geneva post that, and while that was really a wonderful learning experience, it felt a little too disconnected from the real work or the real impact. So I moved back home to Bangalore. I worked in rural Karnataka post that in the solar energy access space. So essentially, my job was really fun. It was come up with new avenues that we could add, solar energy to. So I worked with small entrepreneurs, solarizing their agri equipment or their solar sewing machine and whatnot, and working business plans alongside them, working on making viable business plans. While I was working at Selco, I actually stumbled upon a waste picker community, and I noticed kind of the conditions in which they were segregating all of our waste. I basically got to humanize everything I had academically studied about our waste problem. And that's when I decided that on a more personal level, I want to start living in alignment with my values and I want to start living a low impact lifestyle. And along the way, I thought maybe, hey, there are others who might be looking to consumer mindfully. And that's how Bare Necessities was born about 7 years ago now. And we're just kind of constantly trying to innovate and create products that are sustainable, integrity of design in terms of the ingredients that we use, but also the end results and the packaging. So the idea is that you have zero footprint or waste footprint associated with your consumption. So completely accidental to your question. This was never planned. It was just kind of one step led to the next. And that's kind of led to creating Bare Necessities.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for answering that question. And I'm sure like the initiatives such as bare necessities are actually necessary in today's time, and especially in countries like India where the waste is a big problem. And I wish you that you grow in your particular domain and also do many more things in the future. My next question is to Shukla. Sonal, actually, I love the artistic appeal of your products. I went through your website and I found most of them quite innovative too. So, congratulations for making such an amazing vision come true. So, what are the defining features of the sustainable product creation that bring win-win benefits in achieving both circular economy and SDGs? Because as we know, both of them are related in one way or another. So, like if someone has to start this business, what would you suggest to them so that they can achieve both circular economy and SDGs? Over to you.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for the compliment. And about the question, I think, like you rightly mentioned, the SDG and circular economy are very much related, right? But when we, talk about some features, or I would like to say the core values that a brand need, while in their production, right from the production to their packaging, keeping in mind certain small things in process that they can, like keep the process circular as well as can make a brand sustainable for not just for the sake of the sustainability, but as a brand as well, like they are being sustainable. So like I would give one example from my like this startup, like we are into plastic waste management. We make products from the waste plastic. So when we are processing that, there is a lot of waste that is being generated while making the product. So what we do is we keep the waste that is being generated, the discarded plastic material from that as well, and then after a certain point of time, when it is up to some capacity, we recycle it again. And not just that, whatever paper waste we are generating in our manufacturing unit, or whatever photocopies or here and there papers that we get, we use it, shred it, and use it for the packaging. So a lot of brands feel that sustainability is something that you have to replace all the products that you have, and you have to buy all the products in sustainable, eco-friendly, and everything. But I feel that going circular and maintaining that sustainability and keeping that SDG in mind is to use whatever resources you have and using as much local as possible. Like we get a lot of requests from people, from south side. We are based in Delhi, so they say that we will send our waste, which we are so segregating at our home, to you. But we say no, you have to find a local recycler and you have to communicate it to them that you want to recycle your plastic waste. You do not need not to send your plastic waste from that location to this location and add that carbon emission. So I feel these are very small features and core values that a brand needs to inbuilt in their process, that will help them being sustainable rather than going more for the whole society and everything. So yeah, I think very very small things can be incorporated every here and there.
Here, Sonal, and since I am also working in this sector in a different way, so I mean these insights are really helpful for me also personally. Moving on to Rahul Khera. Rahul, I see that your brand Balancing Bits has done a pretty good job in solid waste management. Like my first two questions were from, uh, entrepreneurs who are working on recycling. But say you are in the solid waste management by connecting the societies with much needed waste segregation and transporting this waste to the respective plants. Now, kudos to that. But I was curious to know, what are your lessons learned from your project so far in terms of circular economy, and can we replicate them in other parts of the country? If
Right.
we try to do that, will it be challenging? And if yes, then how can we overcome those challenges? Please enlighten us with your vision in that.
Thanks, Anish, for the question. Although I would like to make a small correction that as an organization, we actually are not into transporting the waste to some other processing facility. We work on a decentralized waste management model wherein we try to process the waste as near to the waste generator as possible. So we basically set up these compost plants, biogas plant within the premises of the waste generator, so that the waste gets processed as near to the source of generation as possible. However, coming to the question that you have asked, that what have been our learning? So see, it has been a immense learning experience for me. I was working in IT sector before starting balancing bids. So just like Seher said, that it was a complete switch of professional career for me as well. And the most important learning was that I think in general, whenever we talk to anyone about waste management, the most that people relate to is that plastic waste is the biggest problem. When I got into this field, actually, I realized that waste is a very complex problem. It is not a simple problem. It is a integration of many streams of waste that comes into, and all of these streams need specific focused attention to kind of handle and process. And when we realize that India is a country which is generating almost 50 to 55% of its waste is organic fraction of the waste, then we thought that maybe that is a field which requires a little bit of attention. So that was an immense learning for us, because before getting into this field, whenever I used to think that what I want to do in waste management, I always had an idea that okay, I'll be starting a plastic waste recycling factory. But when I actually got into the core of the problem, I realized that there are many people who are not able to get the required feedstock to run such kind of establishments to kind of run this plastic recycling factories. But there are very few people who are working in the organic fraction of the waste. So that made us to work in the organic fraction of the waste. And when we started working in the organic fraction of the waste, uh, we realized that there were mixed models which were prevailing in the cities. Few of the cities were working on complete centralized waste management models, and few of the cities were promoting decentralized management model. So another learning that we had was that since the problem is very complex, it cannot be a cookie cutter approach here. The solutions have to be a hybrid solution. The solutions for any city have to be a mix of decentralized and centralized waste management. So whatever we are able to achieve in Gurgaon, so we currently are working for around 40 bulk waste generator, processing almost 15 ton of waste on daily basis. It has all been possible because of a collaborative effort between municipal corporation, the social entrepreneurs, the civil societies, and of course, some of the active residents in the city. So I think as a learning, it is very important that we have to collaborate on various front with the ecosystem that is available to us. And can this be replicated in other cities? Definitely, it can be replicated. But yeah, there will be certain tweaks and changes that we need to do as per the specific problem of the city. But if we really want to achieve that, then a collaborative approach has to be there. And will there be challenges? Definitely, challenges are always there. Waste management is a upcoming field. We are still not settled with all our SOPs, all our solutions. So there are always going to be challenges. But I think it is very important that we have the patience, we have the perseverance to walk through these challenges and attain our waste management objective.
Thank you for clarifying that for everyone in the audience.
Anish, over to you.
Yes, can you hear me? Am I
Yeah.
audible? Yeah. So thank you for giving a lot of clarification to many young entrepreneurs who are hearing you today in the audience, and I think your experiences will be very much beneficial for them. Moving on to my next question to Aditya. Aditya, when I went through your organization, I came across Safai Sathis. So really love that. So your Safai Sathis from Ayya, they provide a comprehensive set of solutions from pickups to cleanups to home cleansing to hotspot cleansing to recycling. So I shall congratulate you for the same, and I wish to visit your facilities in Goa one day. But I wanted to know how you relate your initiative with circular economy. So, what is the correlation between composting and circular economy from your practical point of view? I wanted to know that. Over to you, Aditya.
Yes. Thank you, Anish. And I welcome you and all the people present here. So please visit us whenever you are in Goa. Right. So when as I will correlate with Rahul and Seher because uh, it was a shift for me also. I was in mechanical, then I came to this environment sector. So I spent a day as a waste worker to know the problem of the people, this vulnerable community which they are facing. I got to know about these four problems, which were the rudimentary waste systems, uh, where we were overshoot with waste, where we were producing more waste and managing less waste. Second was the people who are working in it, Safai Sathis and the informal rag pickers. I believe they are the pioneer of circular economy because their contribution towards the circular economy and the whole value chain system is very much. They collect and they process it, right? But still, this community is very vulnerable. Third point was community engagement. How can I bring the community to solve the problem, right? So problem of waste management in a very efficient manner. And the fourth one was circular economy. How can I replace the linear system, which is more resource intensive and which is more waste generated and most polluting system with circular system, which is more economic model designed to decouple economic growth from consumption of future resources. So I have to put that system. So we have our initiative. What we have done, we have connected these dots. We have made our facilities. Our facilities. We have employed our Safai Sathis. We have trained them to recycle, to segregate most at source. So at our facility, we segregate almost 32 different fractions of dry waste and how we have integrated community. We have introduced an incentivized model where people can come with their waste and we will incentivize it, incentivize them for doing that. Also we have made a linkage of waste picker, the informal sector, to our plastic pirates program. So basically, we have given them with good market rate and also provided them with social and economical benefits. To support circular economy, what we have done, we have uh, segregated all the material at source at our shed, and we had uh, send this segregated materials to for recycling. And also we have made an SHG called Sundari who make upcycled products out of it. And we have recently opened our recycling center, which is an intercity recycling center where the waste from the city is recycled at the city only, and we are making some products out of it. And talking about relation between composting and circular economy, I think sir, in composting we are turning waste into something valuable. It is a waste to resource. We are using uh, waste to make a resource, right? And it's a complete loop for organic waste. We are also, while making compost, we are reducing the waste at landfills, and also we are benefiting ecosystem, and and this system has economy in it. So yeah, I think this is the relation between composting and circular economy.
Okay.
That's it from
Yeah.
myself, Anish.
Okay. Thank you, Aditya, for giving that clarification. And I think all the audience members will be considering the composting aspect from a lot of angles after the clarity that you have given. So, Rahul, a follow up question from what you said before. So, in the face of growing concerns on climate change, as we know that this is a deeply concerning issue for everyone, so what potential co benefits in terms of air quality and greenhouse gas emission reduction, biomass and agricultural waste sector by composting offer to the world? Like, just to clarify my question again, since you work with biomass and agriculture waste related sector and maybe other kinds of waste as well, so what are the co benefits in terms of air quality and greenhouse gas emission reductions in this particular domain? Have you made any estimates so far? And if you have, can you tell like what are the ways to measure them?
Right. Uh, so a very valid question, because we also need to understand that whatever problem that we are handling, how is it actually contributing to the bigger picture? So waste mismanagement is one of the major reason for greenhouse gas emission, and specifically we talk about organic fraction of the waste, the kitchen waste, the food waste that gets generated as part of municipal solid waste. It constitutes to the most of the methane that gets generated from the landfills. When all this waste gets dumped into the landfill and it does not get proper aerobic condition to process, that is where the methane generation happens at the maximum. So if we are able to process our organic fraction of the waste, kitchen waste, food waste, then definitely we are contributing to the greenhouse gas emission releases in the environment. So that's why it is very important. See, India, as I told before as well, that India is a country of fresh cooking. 50 to 55% of our waste is organic fraction of the waste. And on the same note, we are also an agricultural country, right? So we also have a huge demand of fertilizer. So composting is a process through which microorganisms convert all this organic fraction into soil nutrients. So if we are able to use this fraction of waste and convert it into compost, then it has double benefits. Not only it helps us to solve our waste management problem, it also provides us useful nutrients for the soil, which currently are being given in form of synthetic fertilizers that has a separate set of carbon emission. So if we start going towards a natural farming using natural fertilizer, then that also cuts down the greenhouse emission. And if we talk about some numbers, then just to give a perspective to the audience, that if you process your waste, your organic fraction of the waste, then in an year you actually help to reduce the emissions equivalent to driving a car for 350 to 400 kilometers per year. So that is the kind of contribution that you can do at individual level if you process your waste. So imagine that the entire society of 500 households doing that, what kind of cumulative effect it causes to the greenhouse gas emission. So Hanish, I believe I answered your question.
Right. All right. So, I mean, even when it comes to the product creation, even we also like try to do different kinds of measurements, because this is basically impact measurement, and environmental impact measurement is also something which we have to think from the futuristic point of view. And Rahul, your insights have been really beneficial. And on the similar lines, just because this question is kind of connected, I have another question from Aditya. Aditya, so carbon credits is a concept which can help in advancing carbon sequestration by offering certain benefits to all the participants in this particular carbon sequestering domain. So, since you are into composting and other related services, have you ever estimated the amount of carbon that your efforts have sequestered so far? If yes, how much it is? And do you have a way forward to use it further for economic benefits for better engagement of the communities? Over to you, Aditya.
All right, sir. So, in addition, I will tell you we have our two brands which we have made. One was Good Earth, which make compost out of organic waste, and second was plastic pilot programs, which is related to marine and riverine plastic, where we recover the plastic and make products out of it. We have tried out different GHG calculators to find out our emission numbers, but we haven't find out till yet. Our team is working on it, and hope anyone from this panel can help me out. Yes, sir.
Surely, surely. I think so. Basically, the just what I know about this concept so far is something like, for example, we make sanitary pads from another biodegradable material called hemp. So we are measuring its credits in terms of also the product absorption of the carbon in terms of sequestration, and also since it's coming from a plant, so how much of the carbon is sequestered during its cultivation. So in future, the carbon credit measurements will also help the farmers and also artisans who are making it for us. And just that much clarity I have about it. But if you haven't done any measurements so far, I would suggest you to do that. And because it can be really beneficial, even economically in the future, for all the people who are working with you. So coming like moving on from particular this particular section, I have my next question from Sahar Mansoor. So Sahar, we are living in and consuming above the planet's resources today. We are consuming more and more, and this model is less and less viable for the future of humanity. You have to think about our future generations which are going to come. So in 2015, developed countries used 30 tons of resources per capita compared to 2 tons in developing countries. And these resources are not unlimited, we know about that. And it is increasing. It is increasing on an increasing trend it is. So since you are into product creation in terms of recycling and making new products out of it, so why is our consumption pattern a problem in today's world, and how much sustainable product creation by recycling, as you are doing, our by recycling our waste, can really help in this situation? Please elaborate on
Thank you so much for that question. I mean, we all know the problem. We all know we're currently living in the largest global garbage crisis of our lifetime, which means kind of every product that you and I have ever used is just sitting here somewhere on this planet, especially the ones that have like a plastic packaging or a plastic footprint associated with it. So Ben Estes is really trying to tackle that problem, and we all know it's a huge issue. I mean, the stats are here. All of the data we already have. So that's kind of the problem. That's kind of well researched and well documented. And I don't want to preach to the choir because everyone over here is probably already knows that. But from our perspective, we really do think that redesigning things to really kind of incorporate circular economy principles and low waste principles and just sustainability in the heart of everything that we do is one way to reimagine a more sustainable, just, and greener world. So the idea is how can we redesign everyday products that are not packaged in plastic, not loaded with chemicals, that have a more circular approach? How can we look at deliveries to be more kind of carbon efficient? What can we do on the delivery level to incorporate an EV or just anything that could be a little bit more low impact? For example, some of our products are really, really space efficient. They come with a little sachet, right? So the idea is, first time you purchase a product, you can get a dispenser and you get a sachet with it. And thereafter, you just get a sachet and it is completely compostable. And if you put the powder into the container and you add water from your own tap at home, you can hand wash, dishwash, multi-surface cleaner. So the idea is by surely just reducing the kind of the space efficiency, like making the products very space efficient and the packaging completely compostable, you're designing waste completely out of the system. And that's another way to kind of address your waste footprint, but also your carbon footprint. So I think circular economy is something that we are really excited by. We're also one of the last few generations that can kind of imagine what life was like, in the 90s when the mandi wala would come over and deliver all of your groceries and you would put into your own containers at home. You've kind of heard stories from your grandparents. And then you've kind of seen also the dot-com boom and then thereafter how consumption has kind of just shaped our world and economy and how plastic has kind of invaded our lifestyles and economies. So for us, I think we are at this crossroads and we take that not lightly at all, to how we can kind of reimagine a cleaner, greener, more just world that really incorporates circular economy principles from design to conception to delivery, and then also spreading awareness around it. So we actually have 3 online courses around sustainability, one on low waste living, one on building blocks of sustainability, and one on circular economy that champions a lot of Asian examples of what's going on in the ecosystem, whether that's repairing, whether that's refurbishing, repair cafes, etc., to really see how we can all really be part of the solution.
Really amazing. And I mean, this so far, the all the questions that I had written, this question was very much close to my heart because I mean, the consumption patterns that we have today are extremely, on a very high risky mode, and we need solutions for them. And thank you for sharing your insights about it. So Sonal, like the second question to you is like, so investors in India, how they're looking at circular economy based businesses, are they finding them investable much? With investors, it's always tricky in terms of waste management because when you begin a brand, you have a vision and maybe profitizing is not that much in the books, but as we grow the business, we mature slowly as business folks. I'm also maturing slowly. However, bringing an investor on board requires assurances in terms of how many changes they will incorporate. So, what are your personal thoughts about it? What is your advice in terms of funds that you have come across so far for our audience?
That's a very good question. First of all, Hanesh, um, in past 3 years of me working in this space, sustainability space, what I have understood for someone who is just starting out, or for someone like us, who is having their startup in sustainability space, it is definitely very difficult to first of all get into the right set of investors and then getting that funding or any kind of funds from them. For any startup, funding is very crucial, because when you are at the initial stage, you yourself do not know like what kind of projections you're going to have. So, and when you are in the sustainability space, it is even more difficult because you need a lot of awareness to be in this space, a lot of awareness to be done about the product, about the process, and so many things. I've seen like there are so many investors and these things, impact investors are coming into the picture, but still, from my personal experience, I think for a startups like us, going for the grants and going for the other type of funding options that are available at the initial stage is better option or better idea than struggling in finding the right set of investor at the initial stage, because there are so many grants I have experienced. There are so many incubators, accelerators who are giving good amount of, I would say, the seed kind of money that you need to make the prototype, or to just validate your idea. And once you have that understanding, you can always show forward your progress trajectory, and then going forward with the investors, and also finding out that what type of investors you require, because getting someone into your team itself is a big idea, and then investors on top of that, they have their own opinion, they have their own suggestions. So you have to have that understanding first, which I would suggest someone who's starting out should go for the grants and these type of funding options. And once you validate your idea, once you have your own confidence, then go for these type of investor funding, I would say.
Yes, I mean, for example, currently, like we also initially were thinking like, oh, how to go about it, and suddenly there was Startup India and then grants and everything. So I think that is a good domain to look into. And if audience is hearing this loud and clear, so government grants are pretty much open if you have a good product and it is innovative, it has a good revenue model, and it is innovative and has environmental consciousness. So definitely go for different kinds of government grants, and all the like I am sure that a lot of all the audience is taking a lot of insights from here, and I mean, it was really great session, and I would love to meet you personally somewhere in the future, in some incubator or some other session. So thank you very much, and thank you for your time.